Hello,
Hello, is this Amanda?
this is Amanda. Is this Dawn?
It is. I see you walking in where the place you work, and I see the most amazing woman that runs a large organization where
Oh,
every head turns and looks your way, and you don't look at any of them.
you're so crazy, Dawn.
Well, it's a true honor because your dad is one of my best friends, as you know, and this is fathered. And
Yes,
we tell true stories about real men. So the question is, tell me a story of a moment your dad fathered you.
yes. And I've been very excited for this day because, first of all, I love the concept of this podcast. And something that I am always so blessed thinking about is how I got to end up with Gary Dwayne Page as my dad. It's one of the best the best parts of my life. And I've been thinking about the moment. I've been thinking about the moment I want to share because honestly, there's so many. And I was thinking about how it's all these small moments too that his consistency and how he showed up in his love for me. Like I remember I was in ninth grade. I wanted to be on the drill team so bad. I was dancing and learning the audition dance, and I just knew I was going to get on the team, and I didn't make it. And I came home just devastated, and my mom had told him before he came home from work. And there was a card sitting outside my door of my bedroom because I was in there crying, and all it said was, "When you hurt, I hurt, Dad." And it's all these small moments of how he showed me how much he valued what I was experiencing and how important it was. But I have this moment that I decided I would share. That was the most powerful for me. And I was in high school, probably um, eighth grade, just going into ninth grade. And we had just started going to a new church. My dad was on staff at this new church, my uncle's church. And I was getting to know everybody in youth group and finding my place. And there was this girl who kept copying me. And I know they say imitation is flattery, but this was extreme. This girl was, I mean, she dyed her hair red. She got my same glasses. She was wearing, she bought my same jacket and clothes. She was just extreme.
Should have licensed your stuff and made some money
Oh
off
my
of
gosh. It was crazy. And I had started, kind of dating this boy at youth group. And one day I guess it was at the after youth service. I walk into this room and they're kissing, this girl and my
Oh
little boyfriend.
my goodness.
And I was just angry because she couldn't I felt like she couldn't let me have anything. She wanted to copy everything about me. And whenever my sister, who's 5 years older than me, were driving away from youth group, and I yelled something pretty hateful out the window to this girl when we were in the parking lot, and I was just so mad. I was so angry. And my sister, of course, being the good big sister she is, when we get home, she tells my dad what I did. And he pulls me into the living room, and I remember he's standing at the fireplace mantle and I'm sitting on the couch, and he's like, Amanda, you can't act like this. You can't, we're on staff here. You need to be a better example. You can't be saying stuff like this to people. And I'm crying and I look at him and I'm like, you don't know what it feels like to think your parents think you're a bad person. I was so angry in the moment, but now you think I'm a bad person. And he looked at me and he said, I never think you're a bad person. I think you're the best person. He said, I don't like what you did because I know you're better than that, but I never think you're a bad person. And I just remember that was so meaningful to me because I he saw me and held me up to a high standard, not because it didn't feel like because he wanted me to be great. He just knew, he saw it in me. And he had this way of disciplining me with this softness and understanding of who I was and who I could be. And that moment always stuck with me because I just remember thinking, okay, I'm not a bad person. He doesn't think I'm a bad person. I made a mistake. And I went and apologized to the girl and everything was fine. But that was like a pivotal moment for me that your actions sometimes aren't great, but it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You can always recover and you can always realign to who you really are deep down.
Oh my,
And that's kind of Gary Page.
the deep question is, did you ever date that guy again?
Oh, no, I did not. I ended that right away, sir.
You figured that one out real quick that this might not be the best guy.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
And I would say, as close to a fool as you can get, right? Is that fellow. Oh my goodness.
Correct.
So and now you're up here and you've got a family of your getting ready to have a bigger family and you got
Mm,
a great husband. And
yeah.
now when you think about having kiddos, what does that do to both of your lives and also your husband when he thinks, am I going to be the voice of God to my child?
Yeah. Yeah. It really, it's crazy how currently I'm 6 months pregnant and, every generation wants to do maybe differently because you're also just this baby's going to grow up in a different world than you did. Why I was able to marry such a man like my husband, Michael, is because I know that I've married someone who reflects all the best parts of my dad because I knew I would want to give that to my child one day.
Well, man, how did that moment shape who you are today?
Well, I think why I chose to talk about this moment in particular is because we're not no one's perfect. And even if you're holding yourself to a very high standard of goodness or morality and you're wanting to make the best decisions, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can act out emotionally or you can say the thing that you regret. But it's so important to be able to look deep and see that's not who I am. Let me correct that. Let me realign. And I really think it's because my dad made me see that my actions don't always define me if I can find a way to make it right and realign to who I am and who God wants me to be. And so for me, I always think about that moment because it was like my dad saw me and he kind of pulled me to that better version of myself and held me to that standard. And so I try to do that for myself now every day.
Those are deep foundational stones, you
Yeah.
know. And my goodness. Well, let me thank you, Amanda, for sharing those stories with us today. I told him yesterday or 2 days ago. I said I heard your sermon. I think you've got promise here. And 2 days before he retires.
Yeah. He's got promise for sure.
Well, I thank you so much.
Absolutely. And thank you for thinking of me. I was really honored and so happy I could do this and get to love on my dad and get to chat with you.
I sure appreciate it, Amanda. All right, then. I'll see you later then.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you so much, Don.
Bye bye.